I will call this meeting of the Bellevue City Council to order on Tuesday, January the 14th, 2025 at 6:30. For the record, all council members are present. This time we'll do the invocation. We'll begin the meeting with the invocation. We'll ask Pastor Ronnie Holmes from Church of Open Doors to please come up to the podium and give the invocation and lead us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. All of you. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Father, thank you for this new year that we've entered into. Thank you for the blessings of past year, but the things that you're planning for this year. Let us embrace those things with clarity from you. I thank you for these who have volunteered their time and talents to serve, and as well as those who are on staff here. Thank you for that. But Lord, I'm reminded of your word that says, except the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain that build it. So we ask you, Lord, to build this house called Bellmead. Thank you for your blessing and orderly arrangements of things that need to yet be. We thank you for your peace among its citizenry and the order of God. I pray for a spiritual move of your presence, Lord, in our city. We love you. We thank you for every step of progress that you're leading toward. In Jesus' powerful name, amen. 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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Mayor, I've been asked if you would please not move the mics back and forth and put them down towards you. That they would very much appreciate it, because we're also having problems hearing you the next day for the broadcast.
Acknowledgement of guests. This time is for citizens to address City Council on issues and items of concern that are not on the agenda. Citizens will be allowed a comment time on any requested agenda item. There will be no City Council discussion or action at this time, and there is a time limit of 3 minutes per person. Personal attacks on council and staff will not be tolerated. Doing so will forfeit the remaining time. Persons engaged in disruptive behavior will be escorted from the meeting. Have I received all comment cards? There being none, we'll move on. The city manager's report. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. First items I want to update you on is, would you please let me know by Thursday if you're available on the 22nd at 6 p.m. for a meeting? And then we have included the results of the McLennan County Appraisal District Board of Directors. That is what you voted on last. We've included that. We will be giving you an update, hopefully, on the food truck ordinance. We continue to try to tweak that and work with the City of Waco FOG unit, which is the fats, oils, and grease. We're working with them to try to get that. Then I wanted to let you know we're anxious and waiting. The engineers have been going back and forth on some of the La Vega ISD projects. We've got some reports, and they've gone back to the engineer, and we hope to get those soon. The other one that I'd like to get your direction on is we haven't heard anything on the MOU for the dispatch. The police chief went and visited with the chief, and I don't know if you want to direct me to send another letter, because I don't want to wait till the last minute, because we asked La Vega for the end of February to give us the MOU, and I'd like to get some direction from y'all.
Have you've had a meeting with them already?
Yeah, following the last meeting, we did send them a letter, and I just want to know where y'all want me to go.
We gave them to the end of February, right?
Yes, sir. Are you okay with that? I mean, should we send them another letter? Dr. Shields is aware of it, or do we just let it go?
Received the letter.
Yes, sir.
I was just getting to the deadline that we put forward.
Okay. Yep, they can't hear you. So I'm gonna start calling you Coach when you're talking. All right, go ahead,
I
because it's
would
for
just-
the recorder.
Okay, now I would just go ahead and, since we sent out a letter, to the superintendent, and we gave him a deadline. She's pretty, real professional, so I'm pretty sure they'll respond by the deadline.
Okay, thank you. All right, and then that's all I have, Mayor, unless council has something for me.
Anybody got anything? No member of council have anything? We'll move on to proclamation. We do have one proclamation for the 45th anniversary of Paul and Carrie King family Christmas reunion. King family, come up, we've got a proclamation to pass out.
Mayor, I also want to let you know that Jordan Van Wyck is also here from Senator Pete Sessions' office, and he also has a proclamation that he would like to give and a flag. Go ahead, sir.
You, okay.
Hello.
Look,
You want to get him to come up? The ones, the
yeah,
family.
if y'all would come up to the podium.
Can everyone hear me through the microphone? Okay, so I'm here on behalf of Congressman Pete Sessions. I'm here to deliver a flag that was flown over the U.S. Capitol, as well as a certificate to acknowledge the King family's the efforts. So I'll read it here. It says, "The King family, celebrating the 45th annual Paul and Carrie King family Christmas, this flag honors the King family who continue to foster family ties for 4 generations, modeling and passing down American values and traditions, keeping loved ones close, and remembering the true meaning of patriotism, sacrifice, and the efforts to keep this annual celebration alive. In witness thereof and pursuant to the authority vested in the Congressman, I have hereunder set my hand and seal of the office this day, 14th of January, 2025.
And Jordan, while you do that, I'm fully aware that it's a congressman, not, so.
That's nice.
Hang on, hang on a second.
We've got one from the city of Belmead as well.
This proclamation is for the 45th anniversary of Paul and Carrie King family Christmas reunion, whereas Paul King was born December 23rd, 1909, whereas Paul served in the Navy on LST 272 during World War II, whereas Paul and Carrie King were married on August 10th, 1940, and had 7 children, whereas their only son, Samuel Lewis Buster King, served as a Marine radio operator during Vietnam War. In the line of duty, Buster sustained severe injuries that resulted in the loss of both legs. Despite his critical condition, he heroically managed to radio for assistance, ensuring the rescue and survival of other injured Marines. His extraordinary bravery and unwavering commitment under such dire circumstances earned him a prestige Silver Star. Whereas the Paul and Carrie King family Christmas reunion was established in 1979 to celebrate Paul King's 70th 70th birthday alongside holiday season for the past 45 years. This cherished gathering has been celebrated and will continue to be celebrated by their surviving daughters, Barbara, Linda, Catherine, Sandra, and Olive Green. Whereas now, therefore, our Mayor, James Cleveland, of the city of Belmead, McLennan County, do hereby recognize the 45th anniversary of Paul and Carrie King Family Christmas Reunion.
Mary, you want to stay down, or we got another one? You've got the next award, or you're welcome to walk back and forth, but.
I know you can't reach over.
It is heavy. The next presentation that the mayor is presenting is given to our finance department, which is really spearheaded by our assistant city manager, CFO, Karen Evans, and the assistant finance director, Samantha Jimenez, who you may not have met before, but she needs to start coming to these meetings to enjoy the fun. But as you know, the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada has awarded this award to Belmead as a Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for its comprehensive annual financial report for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2023. This certificate is, as you have heard me say many, many times before, is not something that's easy to acquire. It takes a great deal of work, and more importantly, it is audited, reviewed, and closely critiqued by an outside team, and it is not a given to get that. It has to be earned. So I would ask the mayor if he would present that. How many years in a row is that? How many buttons we have on there? Count them. Should be 5. Yes. Yeah. Fred, can you get a picture?
You would be camera shy.
Well, Shannon, I have to say, that is the neatest special effect I have seen in a long time. But as she is rekeying and undoing what the computer did, Mayor, if it's okay, I'll go on to the next item, which is I need your direction on a city ordinance. As you know, following rules and asking people to do things is sometimes complex, sometimes difficult, and sometimes upsets people. But we continue to be rule followers, so I need your direction. I have been approached more than once about the lots across from Belmead Drive, known as Kelly's Lot, all those junkyards, basically. And Mr. Morris and I have thought we had some pretty good hits, or at least nibbles on it. But after they've looked at it, they've basically pulled out at this point. Doesn't mean we're not going to try again, but when we bring these people into town, they start there, and they drive down Belmead Drive. And the challenge we're having is this particular ordinance. If you'd walk us through let me click the slides. And my question to you is, next slide. My question to you is, there's an ordinance that was amended to allow these trucks and these containers. And what I'm asking you to do you want us to leave the ordinance alone? Because if you do, we can't do anything about the containers that are stored on these facilities and the containers that are stored up and down Belmead Drive because of the zoning. If you can flip a couple of pictures, a couple more, and let me show the next pictures. And this is what we're looking at. That's what people see in front of for sale sign. The next one, again, there's nothing we can do about this because the current ordinance allows it. Most cities that allow this allow it in industrial, or it has to be behind the building, such as what HEB, Walmart, and Sam's do, out of sight. I think the next slide, there's 2 more slides you should have. Again, this is what they see, and then I know this is a tough one because this will bring a lot of questions. It's hard to sell Bellmead Drive when you've got 2 of those trailers sitting on there. If you want us to amend the ordinance, we will. If you don't, we won't. I don't want to spend staff and legal time if if this council does not want to amend that. We're not saying abandon them, but we're saying restrict them to industrial. Mr. Morris, let me know if I get offline. You would like to see them restricted to industrial and be screened or somehow behind the building. But it's going to be a battle. I'm okay with a battle, but I need the council's direction and support before we go any further.
I would like to amend it, because it is
It's an eyesore.
an eyesore, especially when you bring in potential businesses here to Bellmead and they kind of ride through, and that's the first thing you look at is things like that, so that's my opinion on it.
We've gotten very favorable comments about the loop right now, and I will be meeting with TxDOT to talk to them about some additional things on the loop, but we've gotten very favorable comments on the loop being redone. Anyway, I'd like to hear just your thought, the rest of y'all, your thoughts. Amend it or leave it alone? I know I have one amended.
It needs to be amended. It does. It's an eyesore. But I thought this conversation had came up in the past, and the tire shop, that's grandfathered in. I think I heard that when I first came on council. Is that correct?
It is, it's beyond grandfathered in. The ordinance was changed. Legal advised me they prepared to take them to court, and then the ordinance was changed to allow it. If the ordinance is amended, they're gonna have a certain time frame which we'll figure out to get them either out of here or screened.
Okay.
I believe, I may be wrong, but I believe the first time that this was all brought up is when we lost the feed store on Bellmead Drive.
Yes.
Due to them not having nowhere to store their inventory and the building being too small. I believe that was before I got on council.
Correct.
That came up. That's one of the things that I'd like to see us look at is, are we gonna lose more businesses that have been here for the long run behind whatever we change?
I don't know that you will lose any.
I know we lost the feed store was one of them.
Oh, is that why? Again, that was before my time.
Yeah, that was before I got on council, but I remember hearing, and that was when some of that was first changed. And that cost us,
Tony has been in and out of the court system with Bellmead. We won, he won, we won back and forth multiple times. And we were, when Mr. Wilson was on here, we were trying to get him to put up some kind of partition or something in front of it to cover it up or whatever, and the verbiage was just totally beyond what should have been restricted verbiage and what have you. So the old saying is, been there, done that. It probably should be, even though he is grandfathered in, it should be that we go to him and suggest that we can help one another, not go in and say, we demand that you move it. If you don't move it, we're gonna fine you. We've already been down that road, and all we're gonna do is muddy the water again, and we really don't need that with everything that we have going forward with the city. I think it needs to be one-on-one.
I agree with the fact that it needs to be amended. What I'm looking at is, I know we've got 2 tire shops, and that's where, well, actually, we've got 3. We've got the one on Dallas Highway, We've got the one at the end of 84, and then this one right here. And this is
Hogan
primarily
Lane
the way.
and Bellmead Drive.
Yeah, you got one down the street from you, and that's their primary storage, is a way to contain them, because they get so many, they can't call them out every day to pick up used tires. So when you looked at, I'd like to see us look at the options that they'll have to be able to continue to run their businesses, because those are long-term businesses that have been here. Was it Hogan Lane's got one as well?
Hogan Lane,
Hogan.
there's one on 84 heading out to Axtell. There's Highway 77,
Did I miss something?
then Bellmead Drive in town. There's the Exxon on 84 out there that has a tire shop inside it. We got 5 or 6 tire shops in Bellmead.
Okay, but I thought the conversation was on Bellmead Drive.
Yeah, well,
Unless I
mean,
missed something, because that's where we're working toward, was to clean up
what I'm saying
Bellmead
is
Drive.
they're talking about restricting it to commercial areas. Are these locations in commercial, or are they as well? Because I know at the end, you've got, housing back in there too. That's what I'm saying, the way we word it, I don't disagree with it, it needs to be amended. I'm saying we need to look at those and make sure we're not gonna, how we can work with them, as the city, working with our already existing businesses that need a way to store them and can't afford to build a specific, facility to store.
They can still store it, right, if it's in B1, the industrial zoning?
Yeah, and that's what I'm
They
looking at.
can still
So,
store it, right?
but are all those specific shops, are they all in commercial or industrial areas? Or do they fall within, that boundary? Like you've got one that's in your precinct.
Yes, I don't look
on the-
further
on
out,
the-
yeah.
Yeah, right there on, where you come into Bellmead, that's another, that's by the steakhouse and everything.
Do they have like a?
They've got
do
this
do we have a
exact same
picture
thing.
that, yeah. Need to
They
go-
don't
go
have
take a
much,
look at it.
yeah, they don't have property, so they're right there on the main road.
Yeah.
And like I say, I don't disagree with that. It does need to be amended, I agree with that. But we need to look at, how we can work with them, if that's the only means they've got to store their product. Because, say, everybody in this room comes in and has a tire that they need to actually replace. We know when we have our city cleanup, we have a lot of tires come in. That's gonna be an influx, if they got nowhere to store these, then we're gonna be finding them because they've got tires that are exposed, collecting water. We have people complaining about that as well.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a storage. I always seen it coming down Bellmead Drive.
And
It
if
was
you
sitting in a
go,
trailer.
like, if you go over on 77 and look up from the wood shack, they've got, Bill's, there's 2 tire shops right there that split at Elm, right there, head toward Elm Street.
Yeah.
They split right there. Both of them have got trailers, and if you look at them, they're open. And that's something I don't agree with either. They're open, and you can see what's inside them. They need a way to contain all that.
Well, you have one at the motel that's there on 77.
And why is that there though?
I assume it's for storage. But where Tony's is, he is actually under two different, sections where he's under business and he's under commercial. Because part of his property falls under one and the other part falls under the other. So,
Yeah, I see.
it's kind of weird that is that way, but it is.
I know we've got everything right here on Bellmead Drive, but the end of 84 would be also a main corridor coming in.
Yeah, I'm talking, if you're gonna do it, do the whole thing, or,
Well, I don't dispute it needs to be, but I'm saying we need to go out or bring it back as a workshop with the information so we know how we're gonna approach it without losing more than what, businesses we've already got due to the fact that they can't store nowhere and they can't afford to build a storage facility for the used tires and that's the whole thing we have with, Kelly's place with, what's the guy's name that comes in?
Yeah, I can't think of it. I know what you're talking about.
When he comes in complaining, it's about the tires.
Toby.
Yeah, Toby, when he comes in complaining, it's about the tires. I know the tire shops, now, these are pictures, I think it was the second slide. The Kelly place,
Yes.
I don't know what those, and I know that's a main corridor coming in too. And I see
That's
they've got
on the spur.
yeah, they've got the for sale sign up on it. Is that something we've already discussed with him on moving, or? I know we've had a long battle with them.
I've done this for decades. And let me go on record and say, unless you have an ordinance and you have some enforcement, nothing is going to happen. I'm happy to go on the record and tell you that. So going out and asking these people to change what they have done and they're very comfortable with, let's just leave it alone. Because I can't make them do anything. I can't bring them to court. I can't give them a written warning. I can't give them a citation. I can't file a complaint on them. Why should they change unless the governing body wants to make the change? And I will move as you direct me, but I think going out there and just asking people to move, we tried that for 3 years with those 2 junkyards. Until we started taking them action, nothing got done. Oh, a car would get moved here and there. Just up to you. I serve at your pleasure.
How much money are we spending on Bellmead Drive? How much is the project?
10 million.
$1 million?
Well, 9 million for Bellmead Drive and 1 million for Concord.
9 million? Those trucks look real nice spending about that much on Bellmead Drive.
I think it needs to be amended. I mean, I understand it. Because it was in 2014, it was,
Right, 13 and 14.
It'll have to be amended, and we'll have to see the changes, the idea of the changes before you could even consider talking to anybody anyways. So
Like I said, I
just
don't-
go forward and let's amend it and.
I mean, I agreed, it needs to be amended.
Yep.
You know, I
So
mean,
bring you back some discussion points.
Yes.
Sir, are you good with that, Fred? Yeah. We'll bring you back some discussion points, and we'll go from there. Thank you.
Next on the consent agenda, all consent items listed below are considered routine and non-controversial by the city council and will be approved in one motion. However, any city council member or city manager may remove an item from the consent agenda to allow for discussion and voting on the item individually. Mr. City Manager, would you carry us through the consent agenda?
Thank you, Mayor. Let me walk you through each item. First item is consider the minutes from the meeting of December 14th meeting. Next is consider memorandum authorizing city manager enter into an interlocal agreement to dispose of hazardous waste. We would much rather people take those and dispose of them properly, paints, oils, rather than put them in our water and sewer system. Next item is authorizing the sale surplus of vehicles that are no longer needed and small equipment that is no longer needed. And we can recover costs as well as get them off our insurance liability. Next item is offering, employees have asked in the past to give them an option for a 457 plan, which would be the employees would be contributing to that, but it requires city council to authorize us to allow employees to deposit funds into a 457 account. This would be the employee's money. If an employee wanted to put $1 or $100 or $1,000 into this retirement, long-term retirement plan, they can, they manage it. And we just think the employees have asked, we've looked into it, and we found a very, very reasonable one that is, as you can see, used by many, many cities and private industries. And then the item 8, which is consider memorandum selecting KPA as the engineering firm for the Texas Development Water Board grant-funded water and wastewater infrastructure project, and authorizing us to move forward with that. And then the last item goes hand in hand with that, which would be, we had a request for proposals in Langford Community Management Asset for grant administration of that service. For long-term planning, one of the things we're looking at is off on the, off around that area around Air Base, I'm sorry, not Air Base, Myers, Shelby, and that area in the industrial park, right now does not have the capacity of water or sewer that we would like. and there are several hundred acres here along Belmead Drive, and I said Shelby, I meant Williams, sorry, Williams Road, that can be and will be developed in the future. And when Mr. Morris and I go talk to developers, what the first question they ask, is it what they call shovel ready, which means, do you have water and sewer there? And if you don't, there's plenty of places that have water and sewer. So we would like to start the process. We believe if you authorize this, that we stand a very good chance at getting this grant, which would help us drill a well there and would help us for long-term planning. You'll probably see the benefits of this in the years to come for planning for the future. And that's pretty much when you look at the growth that's gone along I-35 in Hewitt or Highway 84 in Woodway. When you look at that growth, it's because somebody years ago developed and thought we should put water and sewer lines there, and that's helped them out pretty good. I think you did that 10 years ago along I-35, and now look at it, it's got a Walmart and several stores that are very high tax producing in Hewitt, and I'd like to see the same thing for the future of Belmead. Why are we pursuing tax commercial businesses so aggressively? The only way we're going to be able to keep the taxes down is to pursue commercial development. Maintain the quality of the residential areas, improve it, but continue to pursue commercial development in order to keep the taxes down as low as possible. The beauty with commercial development, you all know it, but I want to make sure to remind everybody out there, you get two taxes. I pay taxes on my home, but I do not pay sales taxes to the city. But a commercial development business pays sales tax to the city as well as property value. So it really benefits the city in the long run. With that, we recommend approval. Thank you.
Does any council member have any questions? Is there a motion?
I move to approve our consent agenda item.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Will the city secretary please call the council?
Councilwoman Coleman,
Yes.
Councilman Bainbridge,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Wingate,
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland,
Yes.
Councilman Gibson,
Yes.
and Councilman Moore.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Regular agenda. City manager, would you carry us to the agenda?
Yes. The next agenda item is calling for the election to be held on May 3rd. The precincts that are up for election this year are Precinct 1, Precinct 2, and Precinct 5. Packets will be available on the 15th, but I wanted to give you some options. What we're asking you to do here is approve this amendment. Staff is recommending that you go with the county as the elections. It is your decision, but staff is recommending you go with the county for a couple of reasons. One, the county is going to cost us somewhere between $2,500 and maybe $4,500 to $5,000, and that depends on how many cities participate in the election. And if we do it with the city of Belmead, it should cost us somewhere between $7,500 and $10,000. I know there's been some questions in the past about the county holding it. We feel very confident that Jared Goldsmith, the new county elections administrator, is very competent and will run the election with great integrity, but we will move as you direct us.
Does any council members have any questions? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to hold the election in the county.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Will the city secretary please call the council?
Councilman Bainbridge,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Wingate,
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland,
Yes.
Councilman Gibson,
Yes.
Councilman Moore,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Coleman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 11,
I want to say thank you for your time when we're ending close to the agenda, but thank you for your time. This item is the third and final reading, amending the Belmead, Chapter 11, Planning and Zoning, it making easier for the city council to appoint members, and staff recommends the approval on the third reading.
is there any discussion?
And we made the recommended,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
We've already approved it on the first and second reading, so this is the third reading on it.
yeah, I was saying, now, make sure we put the qualifications and everything we discussed in.
Yes, sir.
Is there any other questions? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any further discussion? Will the city secretary please poll the council?
Mayor Pro Tem Wingate,
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland,
Yes.
Councilman Gibson,
Yes.
Councilman Moore,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coleman,
Yes.
and Councilman Bainbridge.
Yes.
Motion passes.
There being no further business on the agenda, is there a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Will the city secretary please poll the council?
Mayor Cleveland,
Yes.
Councilman Gibson,
Yes.
Councilman Moore,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coleman,
Yes.
and Councilman Bainbridge,
Yes.
and Mayor Pro Tem Wingate.
Yes.
And the meeting at 7:07.
Yes, can you sign up, please, real quick?
Yeah, all council members need to hang out. There's got something for everybody to sign.
No, you leave it out of here. When you came up here the other day, I was sitting in the parking lot watching traffic.
I came up here.
Yeah, you came up here.
See, that's what happened.